Hello! Happy New Year! Can't believe we're still here. 2021 on planet Earth. And things are really starting to heat up. This week is a very significant week. And I would just like to send all of my love, my light, my strength, my support to all of the patriots who are on their way or already at Washington, D.C. today for the Stop the Steal March. Wow, the world is watching, guys, and we're wishing you so much love, peace and safety. So yeah, so much has been happening since I last posted back in 2020. Oh my God. Why did we sign up for this? Seriously, we're insane. So if I go back to the solstice, the first thing that I noticed on the solstice when I woke up that morning, I didn't sleep very well that night, crazy energies, huge energy coming in. The first thing I noticed that morning when I woke up is the pressure of the cushion that I put over my head at night time to block out the sound of my husband's snoring. It's a very heavy cushion that I place over my head every night because I've got my husband snoring on one side and I've got the video monitor of the children's bedroom on the other side. So every time my children so much as sneeze, the light comes on the video monitor and it floods our bedroom with light. So I've got the video monitor on one side, I've got my husband snoring on the other side. So the only way I get any sleep in my life is to work myself into the ground every single day so I am physically exhausted. And then crawl into bed and put this huge cushion over my head to try and block out the sound and the light. This is seriously my life. So the first thing I noticed on the solstice was that the cushion was still there, which was indicative of the fact that I was still in 3D. So, and I don't know what I was expecting, but I was just hoping that, you know, during the night time, even though that would be daytime in Australia, during the night time, we would have vibrated our way into the fifth dimensional frequency because Gaia would have given the signal because she'd reached out to Alcyone, and the split would have occurred. That's what I was hoping. Particularly this year, given the fact that, you know, all of the stuff that was said about Uluru and, you know, the Aborigines in Uluru doing this particular ceremony. And prior to the solstice, one of the last clients that I had was in Australia. I did a session in Australia, and the signal was incredible. I was a little bit worried about Australia because I was thinking, wow, that's literally at the other side of the world. I wonder if I'm going to be able to complete a session there. And the signal with this lady was just incredible. And we did a really powerful session. But she was telling me about where she was, you know, the Aborigines were going to do this ceremony in Uluru and everybody was really excited about it and nobody really knew what was going to happen. And I was like, oh my God, it's really happening. It's really happening this time. It's really happening. So then when I woke up on the solstice and it hadn't happened, I'm not going to lie, I was pretty peed off. But do what I always do, just shook it off. And thought to myself, well, we're obviously not at that peak point yet. And the guys outside of time have got no idea in terms of linear time when this is going to happen for us. So all of us have no choice but to keep on keeping on Because what is the other choice? We lay down and die. We let the darkness take over. What would be the point in that? What would be the point in all of the starseeds coming to Earth to do what we have been doing, to wake up at this exact time in order to support humanity, if we're all just going to give up when a date comes and goes where we hoped it would happen? That doesn't make us the strongest of the strong, does it, if we're going to do that? It makes us pretty weak if we throw our toys out of the pram and say, I'm not happy. I'm not happy with God because God has not allowed that to happen on the date that I thought it was going to happen. And I thought long and hard about this because I felt really disappointed, and I'm sure many of you guys did as well. But this has happened so many times now. Part of me was kind of like prepared for it. And I was just thinking to myself, do you know what? I don't care what happens at this stage in the game. I don't care what happens. Nothing is going to stop me from believing. I believe with every fibre of my being that when the divine timing is right, this split will occur. I believe it. It's who I am. You can't switch off who you are. So, yes, another date has come and gone that we really, really thought the split would occur. But I remember in one of the sessions that I shared, Gaia said that she had to keep the timing secret. She had to keep it secret so nobody would be prepared. So I guess if it happens on the date when everyone says it's going to happen, then it's not really very secret, is it? So I believe in God. I believe in Gaia. And there's been some incredible things happening this week in the truther community. I don't very often talk on my videos about the truther side of things because I don't want to get banned on YouTube for talking about topics that they pretty much don't want us to talk about. So I do all of that on Twitter. And then if they want to ban me on Twitter, then they can crack on. So I don't really talk about my truther topics on YouTube, but I do have a very big truther hat. I was with Q right from the beginning, literally the very first post, because around that time I was up in the night feeding my baby all the time. So I was always there when the drops would happen. So I've been very, very active in that movement from the beginning, and it's been very exciting, some of the things that have happened this week. As we know, today is a key date. So the energies of light are marching on. They're moving forwards. Don't forget, light is information. As more information is revealed, the light grows on the planet. So it's very exciting times. So on the solstice, after I realised I was still in 3D, I shook it off, had a little bit of a grumble, shook it off, collected all of my crystals up, cleansed them, which they were very grateful for because it had been a good long while since I'd done that. So I cleansed all of my crystals. I had a terrible headache around the solstice. It's like a shooting pain in the back of my head that would cycle round to the third eye. 2 or 3 days from the solstice. And it was so intense that if I was speaking when it happened, I'd have to stop speaking. It was really bad. I don't know if anyone else suffered from that. And I also had, this was about a week ago now, so a good couple of weeks after the solstice, I also woke up one night in the middle of the night with shooting pains rippling up and down my heart area. And they were that bad that I thought I was dying. And at the time, I didn't know whether to wake my husband up and my children, because I thought if I am dying, I don't want them to see me dying, because that's going to be really traumatic. I know it's going to be traumatic for them to wake up and find me dead, but it's going to be really traumatic for them to actually physically see me dying. So I didn't know what to do. And then part of me is like, really? After everything I've done on this planet, you're going to take me out now in the middle of the night with a heart attack? I was like, that can't be right. So, you know, I hooked myself up, hooked myself in, and I said, what's going on? And they showed me this memory that I'd forgotten. And I instantly remembered it as soon as they'd showed it me, of being a child around 6 years old. And my brother had just been born. And I didn't deal with that very well because I couldn't get anywhere near my mom. And we didn't really have any family that I could like grandparents. So I would oftentimes go and stay at the local pub at the weekends with a child who also lived there, who was in my class at school. I was 6. And I would be upstairs in this pub with no adults. Because back in the day when I was a kid, it was very, very relaxed. There were no adults. There was a Rottweiler running around that hated people that wore glasses. And I had these huge national health, disgusting jam jar bottom glasses. So that dog hated me. And my dad would come and drink in that pub. So my mum would be at home looking after my brother. My dad would come drinking in the pub. And I'd be upstairs in the pub, staying with this girl, whose parents were downstairs as the landlord and the landlady. And I would oftentimes cry myself to sleep in that pub because I could hear my dad in the pub underneath me. I could hear his voice. And he was singing, he was drunk. And it was a really, really lonely and sad time for me. And they showed me this memory of when I had these pains as a child, and they showed me that they were closing part of my heart down because I was not dealing very well with the situation that I was in. And they told me that they were opening that part of my heart back up. And I already thought that my heart was pretty well open, but over the Christmas period, they have opened my heart back up, and they've also given me an upgrade. And whilst they were doing this, showing me these memories, I started to breathe like I did when I was in labour, and I calmed myself down. And even though it was still incredibly uncomfortable to the point where I felt so anxious, if I didn't calm myself down, I could have had an anxiety attack. I remembered that memory that they were showing me, and I thought, well, I do remember this pain. I felt it before, so it's obviously a thing. So I've just got to trust. So I trusted in it, let them carry on working on me, and eventually the pain subsided. Now I don't know whether I eventually just fell asleep exhausted, and they carried on working on me, or if the pain subsided and then I fell asleep. I can't really remember because it was quite a traumatic experience. But when I woke up the next morning, I can feel that my energetic field is much bigger. I can feel it. It's almost like I'm aware of how wide I am, if that makes sense, and the impact that my energy has on people. And literally the slightest thing that happens, and I'm just crying my eyes out. My kids, we've let them watch a little bit of TV over Christmas, but only select things that I am happy with. And they really love How to Train Your Dragon, because it's all about dragons. And there's this one film that we've not watched before, which is where Hiccup, the lead guy, has to say goodbye to his dragon because he finds a mate and he flies off to this hidden land. And just the feeling that welled up in my chest when Hiccup had to say goodbye to his dragon, it nearly ripped me in two. It brought up all of this memory of me also in a different part of myself, in a different timeline, having to say goodbye to my own dragon, and how I felt about that. Oh my goodness. So now I'm having to really protect my energy because my energy is really, really wide. And I asked them why they chose this time to do it. And I was told that they weren't able to do it before the solstice. Something changed on the solstice on the planet. So now the planet is able to support a much higher level of frequency. And that's why they were able to do this work on my heart that they've done. So I guess that's encouraging. And I did mention that on the community section of my channel, and I had other people jump on there saying they too have had these heart activations over the Christmas period, and they also thought they were dying. And one lady described it, and it was perfect how she described it. And I do apologise if I cock this up. But I'm sure she described it as, it was like having hundreds of very powerful butterflies released in the heart cavity all at once, that it felt like they were trying to get out of the body. And that is literally what it felt like. But anyway, I appear to be okay. I've not died. I'm still here on the planet, just checking that I plug my PC in. And yeah, let's see what happens. Watch this space. But I would be interested to see if anybody else has had any of these heart activations. Also wanted to know how you guys felt about Christmas. In the UK, we were locked down over Christmas in terms of we were encouraged to stay in our houses, but things were still open, like shops were open. You could still get a takeaway, things like that. On Christmas Day, they told us 4 days, I think it was, 3 or 4 days before Christmas, that we weren't allowed to have a 5-day holiday where we could see family over Christmas. We were only allowed to see 2 other households, and that was only on Christmas Day. So people who work in the medical industry, who were working on Christmas Day, didn't even get a chance to see their families over Christmas. So we did manage to see family members over Christmas, which was great. And I cooked a trio of vegan curries for Christmas Day for myself and my mum, because me and my mum are vegan. And they were superb. I mean, oh my God, they were amazing. Absolutely amazing. And my mum cooked a traditional Christmas dinner for everybody else. So that was lovely. So my mum cooked for the wider family and I cooked for me and her. It was nice. But I've got a funny story about that in terms of the sprouts, because this vegan curry, one of the curries that I cooked an aubergine balti, which was gorgeous with cinnamon and cloves and whatnot. And I cooked a dal, which I absolutely love. Gotta love the lentils. But then I cooked a potato and sprout curry. And I've been looking forward to this moment so much, because over the summer I planted loads of sprout plants in my garden, and they've been doing really well, really bushy, so much so they've produced so many leaves that we've been taking some of the leaves off and feeding them to the chickens. And the chickens are really loving the sprout leaves, and so I was really looking forward to this point in time around Christmas where I was going to be able to say to everybody, I've got so many sprouts that I've grown myself from seed. Please take some of my sprouts. Take them. Merry Christmas. Anyway, you may well remember me talking about Sherry Ann Worth, who's a fantastic medium, who came to see me for a past life regression session, but she actually gave me a reading off the cuff while she was here. And part of her reading at the time was, you think your garden's doing really well, you're quite proud of yourself, but come the winter time, you're going to be very disappointed, because you think everything's doing well, but actually, when it comes down to it, when you pull things out in December to tide you over the winter, nothing's going to be there. Things are going to fail because your soil is not the right pH. It's not the right balance. You need to amend it. And I remember at the time when she gave me this reading, laughing my head off inside, thinking, well, she's got that wrong. My sprouts are doing so well. There's so many leaves on them that we're taking some off. to give them to the chickens. Well, anyway, lo and behold, when I come out to check the actual stalk of the sprout plant over the Christmas period to pick off all of my sprouts, when I actually check the stalk, which is where the sprouts grow, there's nothing there. So I'm just getting ready to make this curry that I'm really excited about. What am I going to do with all these sprouts? I've got so many sprout plants, and there's not one single solitary sprout on my sprout plants. Some of them have just got nothing. There's nothing there. You've got a big, bold stalk with nothing, with a slight impression where a sprout should grow. Others have obviously started to grow, but they've blown. And if anybody is good at growing sprouts, unlike me, you will know what that means. So, and not only have they blown, but because they've blown and I've not realised it, all of the blown bits have been eaten by the caterpillars and everything else. So we have nothing at all to use to make this vegan curry. So I remember thinking, wow, so yeah, she got that right. And when I pulled all of my carrots in the winter to tide us over winter, all of my carrots had been decimated by root fly, carrot root fly. So yes, they've grown. Yes, they're very big, but they're riddled with blackness. You just wouldn't eat them. And apparently that's carrot root fly. So all of these things that I've been growing, we've pulled our Swedes out of the garden. Oh, these are going to be good, aren't they? Yeah, they've got some really good leaves. Pulled our Swedes out. Swedes have come out like they don't look like Swedes. And we tried to cook them and they tasted like shit. So yeah, she was so right. And there was another thing that she said over the Christmas period that made me think, wow. When she gave me my reading, she said that you're going to be growing mushrooms next year. And I thought, well, that's not right, because I'd already had a discussion with my husband about growing mushrooms because I wanted to grow them. And he said, Laura, we're not growing mushrooms because you have to grow them in horse shit. And I'm not having horse shit in the garden. It's bad enough having chickens everywhere and chicken shit. So I'm not having horse shit as well. It's not happening. So I just parked that one. I thought, okay, so I'm never going to be growing mushrooms, even though that's my favourite thing as a vegan. And then when I opened my present from my parents on Christmas Day, they brought me a massive, big mushroom growing kit. So I was like, wow, all of this stuff is coming true. And then also over the Christmas period, I'm starting to get all of these things coming to my head. And when I start to get things coming to my head, I know what that means now. It's happened so many times. It's my guides, it's my higher self, it's my link to source that's telling me that something needs to be done. So over the Christmas period, I get all of this information, this niggling information. It won't go. It's just there the whole time. That's telling me that things have changed so much now. Things are never going to go back to the way that they were, and that we need to adapt in order to make sure that people can survive. And so I'm starting to get all of this stuff, information, whatever, that's telling me you need to develop a course that people can undertake. So if they've already trained in quantum healing or beyond quantum healing, or if they've trained in clinical hypnotherapy, or there's many, many different courses out there, but they can't practice in a face-to-face setting because whatever country they're in, they're not currently in a position where they're allowed to do it. Or even if they are allowed to do it, the clients just aren't there. They just aren't booking in because everybody is so scared to death of traveling or seeing people in a face-to-face setting. And I know myself, I mean, I had 4 months worth of international clients that I had to cancel when the first pandemic hit. And even though I do have people that are prepared to book back in a face-to-face setting, I'm only doing one face-to-face session a week because it gives the person that books in the confidence to know that I'm not seeing anybody else face-to-face that week, that everything is going to be turned around, everything's brand new, everything's clean. And, you know, you have to do that at the moment in the UK in order to be able to practice. That's the official advice that I'm getting from my hypnotherapy school that I'm affiliated to. They're saying that, you know, we have to be keeping face-to-face sessions to a minimum. So if I wasn't working online at the moment, I would not be able to support my family because my husband's work has dried up significantly because of COVID. I'm supporting my family at the moment. So if I didn't have the confidence and the scripts that I have spent the time writing myself to use online, and these scripts have been tried and tested over hundreds of people, then I would be in a really bad situation right now. And so I've been told that I need to create a course that is to help people make the transition from being a face-to-face only hypnotherapist or QHHT practitioner or whatever it is you are, helping them make the transition, helping to give them the confidence, helping to give them the tools and the scripts to move into an online forum, an online place, if you will. So this course that I'm writing currently, and I've been writing it over Christmas, is designed for people who have already done some form of training. They've done some form of training. They've invested something in this new career and they are currently unable to practice. Or even if they've done BQH, but they still don't feel confident enough to make that leap online. They feel that they need more training. They feel that they need more case studies around the types of things that can happen. They feel that they need more guidance around how to fully set up the online session, the types of things that need to be included in their paperwork in order to cover them in an online setting. They feel that they need more scripts. So if you're trained in BQH, but you feel like you want to have some other scripts to use if you decide that you don't want to go ahead with the BQH one, then I have my scripts that I use that in this course I will be sharing, and you will be able to use them. So as I'm writing this course, I remember that in that session that I had, that Sherry-Ann gave me in the summer, she said to me, you're going to be doing courses online next year. You're going to be doing courses online next year, teaching people many, many, many courses. But it's going to be online. And I remember thinking at the time, well, that's never going to happen. There is nothing that could happen that would make me go online as a hypnotherapist. I will always do this in a face-to-face setting. And then one global pandemic later, 1 year later, and here I am, literally writing a course to help other people go online. And I see my course as kind of a mentorship as well, if you like. So if you come on the course with me, the course will involve, you'll get a manual that tells you everything from the beginning to the end in terms of what you need to do to set yourself up as a practitioner of online past life regression. You will also get 20 hours worth of pre-recorded videos of me teaching you how to do every step of the process. And the course will also include 3 live days of teaching with me in a group setting, maximum of 10 people per course. So a nice, small, intimate group of people that I can give my time and attention to help train you to become confident online practitioners of past life regression. And then after that, I will be setting up a WhatsApp group for everybody who's completed my course, who wants to be included in that WhatsApp group, where you can share ideas, share things that have happened, where you can organise amongst yourselves to do sessions with each other to practice. And I will also be keeping in touch with everybody that comes on my course and providing, if you like, a kind of mentorship whereby if there's anything that you need to talk to anybody about, share it with me and I'll happily help you. And my aim is to create a team of people who are confident and happy to practice online past life regression, so we can help as many people as we can over the world as they're waking up, because people are waking up in droves at the moment and they're all looking for answers. They're finding this kind of technique, this kind of therapy, past life regression, and they're wanting to know more about it. And they can't always travel to anybody locally because of the pandemic, because of the lockdowns. And so they're looking for people online. So if you're interested in my new course, I am actually starting to take names of people who want to be on the first few courses, because, like I say, I'm keeping the numbers small so I can work intimately with people. I'm only going to be running 2 courses a month. That's 20 people a month that I will commit to work with. So if you are interested in being on the first few courses that I run, please do drop me an email to laurawhitworth444@gmail.com, and I will tell you what we will be covering on the course, what the price is, so you can decide whether that's something that you want to proceed with, and then I can put you on the list. And then when the course is ready, you're ready to go, basically. So I think that's everything I wanted to mention, other than over Christmas, connecting with family members. We were made to feel pretty much like weirdos again because we don't drink tap water. What's wrong with tap water? There's nothing wrong with us and we drink tap water. Yeah, okay. And also things like, the vaccine. That was very, very contentious. Also, the family not agreeing with us for taking our children out of school. Lots of heated arguments about that over the Christmas period. Everybody has an opinion on that, even though they're our children. And then lo and behold, now the UK finds themselves where all of the children have been sent home anyway. And the schools are teaching them online, in an online setting. Whereas we are prepared. We have been teaching our children ourselves at home with all of the relevant tools. We've got everything set up. So very, very interesting times. Very interesting times indeed. And it's only going to get more and more exciting as we get further into this year. Now, I'm going to stop waffling. Sorry, I've not spoken to you guys for ages, so I did have quite a lot to share. It's only taken me 34 minutes. That's not too bad for me. I'm going to share the actual session now. I wanted to share this one today because it's really, really special. It's a special one. Many of these sessions that you do, they are in the trade, in the business, if you like. You just get bog standard earth lives. So out of every 15 sessions that I do, you'll only get one that's as good as this. So I wanted to share this one because it's great. And it's got dragons in it, which is always pretty awesome. So here we go. I feel like I'm in a star or something. I'm still traveling. There's beams of light and I'm going towards this huge ball of bright light. Tell me more. There's just beams of light on all sides of me as I'm going towards this thing. It's like a huge star. It's getting bigger and bigger. Tell me more about what it feels like to be traveling towards that ball of light. I'm feeling my energy rising. I feel like I'm just outside of that star now. And now I feel like I'm in a huge cavern now. And there's like these big concrete blocks. And I'm stepping on top of them. And now this huge white ball of light is in the distance. I'm in a cavern. And I know it's underground. Tell me more about that cavern as you acclimatise. It's huge. I don't think I can see the ceiling. It's massive. There are pillars. And the star thing that I was going towards, I think it's a light source. And it's now moved away up into the distance. And I'm in this massive cavern that appears to have been made by intelligent life. I can look in all directions. And it appears to just be all stone, like a dark stone. And as you acclimatise in this place, if you look down at yourself and become aware of yourself and your point of perception, tell me more about what you look like. I'm looking at my feet, and I think that they have feathers on them with red toes, white and red feathers, and I have pointed feet. And as you look up the body, do you feel as if this body is male or female or neither? I think it's male, and my legs move like a bird, where they bend in an inverted way. And does this body feel tall or small? Tell me about the physical form. So I'm all feathery, and I'm red and white and blue, and my head is very pointed, totally bird-like, and I have arm wings. I feel like I'm small. My head is blue, and I have yellow eyes, and I've got a very striking face. And how does the body feel? Does it feel healthy and strong? It does not. It feels small. It doesn't feel sick. It just feels small. It's a very dark blue face, but it's a skin face, not a feathery face. But it has a beak. I've got very piercing eyes, and I've got feathers on the back of my head. And as you look around you, do you feel as if there is anyone else around you in this place? I feel like there are millions of us, feathered, millions of us in this cavern. Tell me more about it as you look around. We're all very quiet, and it feels dark. We're all waiting for something to happen. Allow yourself to access that feeling and tell me more about that. We all can communicate with each other, and we're being quiet so that we don't attract attention. I feel like there's a little bit of fear. Tell me more about that. Whose attention is it that you are trying not to attract? There's something big. There's something big in this cavern. It feels like a giant of some kind. Allow yourself to access that, for that information to float up, and for you to know more about this giant being that occupies the same space that you are in. Feels like it's an ogre of some kind, and it has this long tool that it uses to collect us and pick us up. I feel like it eats us, or it collects us to harness something that we have. Tell me more about that. What is it that you have that this ogre wants? I feel like it's our intelligence, our energy. We're all packed in so tight, we can't really move, we can't escape. We're packed in like sardines, actually. There's millions of us on this floor, in this cavern, and we can't escape. And there's more than one ogre that I see now. They're collecting us, they're picking us up, and they're putting us in these huge cages or confinement of some kind. Tell me more about what happens as you are picked up and put into those cages. So they stick us in these big cages, and then we go down a chute. These are massive sizes, and then we somehow go down these chutes. They are slippery little chutes, and I'm travelling down super fast. Tell me what you see when you go down this chute. Darkness right now, twisting and turning. It's a slippery steel chute. And I see we're going towards some kind of a forest and a bright light. Tell me more about that forest. It looks like it's the Shire or something from the Lord of the Rings. Beautiful. Tell me more. It looks like there are rolling hills, and there's this little valley that we are all somehow being deposited in. It's like we're all being fed into a stream. There's nice, shiny rocks. The sun is rising and it's really peaceful. There's a big, beautiful waterfall. It feels like it's a fairyland. It feels like it's the land of the fairies, the colour of the waterfalls. It's water, but there's a very light blue haze rising from the waterfalls. And I feel like I'm in this blue haze now. And at this point, his voice lowers, and you can tell that his state is changing. He is lowering down into a deeper hypnotic state, so possibly from low alpha down into theta. His voice slows, and he starts to speak much slower and quieter. He says the haze is lifting and rising. There's a light blue, white cloud, and now I'm rising in the cloud. It's getting brighter. It's the deepest and the lightest blue and white that I have ever seen. Really deep colour. Tell me what you experience as you continue to rise higher in this place. There's some wings now. There's some big wings. I'm in the clouds now. Really light blue. I'm starting to see rainbow colours. Light blue and white clouds with rainbows in the distance. Huge fluffy white clouds getting bigger and bigger. Tell me more about what you see as you continue to climb. This huge bird-like creature flapping its wings. It's huge, very sleek looking. It's very long. As I get closer to it, I'm above it now. Its wings are now the colour of these clouds. It's like a light blue and white. It's changing colours. Now it's changed into that iridescent, rainbowish kind of colour. And it's rising. It's flapping its wings really slowly. And it's big. It's the size of a dragon. As you connect with this being and become aware of your point of perception, tell me more about yourself. I am now in that being. It has these iridescent scales on it, and it has the head of a dragon. It's very peaceful, iridescent dark greens and pinks and whites and light blues, and it's shimmering, and its head is somewhat... I'm focusing on the neck. It's thick and strong like a snake, like a serpent. This creature is strong. This is a big creature. And the neck, as it flaps its wings, the neck slowly moves from side to side. And on the neck, there is a crown. Tell me more about that crown. It's like a crown of bone that comes up diagonally. So if you look, I'm trying to look at my face. Wow, it's an intense looking face, huge yellow eyes, slanted face. It's the face of a dragon. And the crown is like part of its bone skeleton at an angle. It's like a triceratops neck protection, but it's a protective crown of dragon bone. It's got yellowish reddish eyes, stunning face, beautiful face. It's landing now. Tell me what you see as you land. We're landing on this massive marble. It's a huge round marble floor. I can't call it anything else but that. But it's high up in the sky and it's lit with a bright light. It's so light, it's shiny, almost metallic. And the dragon has landed in front of me now. He sounds surprised at this point because previously his consciousness had melded with the dragon. But now he becomes aware that his point of perception is in front of the dragon. He's looking at the dragon. He's folded his wings and the dragon is looking at me. There's white light on this. It's like we're on the top of a massive marble pillar. It's like it's just a shiny white marble. It's so shiny, it's metallic. The dragon is looking at me. And now I feel as if I am made of this metallic marble material. I am this colour, this shiny white material. Just seen 11:11. I just want to point that out. I've just looked at the clock on my laptop and it's 11:11. Tell me more about that as you look at that dragon and you integrate into this new form that you find yourself in. I can communicate with the dragon and I feel that I am some kind of human, but I am made of this marble material. I have very thick legs and thick arms, but it's like it's all marble. It's like it's a marble or crystal or some material that maybe doesn't exist on this planet. So the only thing I can liken it to is marble or crystal. And it's the colour of the outside of a pearl. Metallic pearl white. And I am standing in front of this dragon and I have ridges on my legs and my arms. It's like my arms and legs are made of this thick stuff. They're very thick. My arms and legs are like a foot thick. They're like blocks. But my head and my shoulders seem human. And I'm quite tall. And I'm stood in front of this dragon. So the form is human and tall in this beautiful iridescent pearl colour. Yes, but the human part of me is skin. I have dark hair and I have a dark orange human skin. I feel very muscular and I have dark hair, but my arms and legs are these thick blocks of marble. And as you stand in front of this dragon and connect with it, what message does it bring you today? I await your instructions. As you access that part of you that knows how to respond. Tell me what it is that you respond to that dragon. There's a very intense energy right now. There's some kind of light beam that I send from my eyes to the dragon. It's like a thick light in the shape of a sword. It's in the shape of a huge sword. And I send it at the dragon for him to understand. Tell me more about what the dragon does when you send that light beam to him. The dragon opens its mouth, and as the beam hits the dragon, it becomes even whiter. He opens his mouth, and there is this ball of light inside the dragon. It is pure white light, this big white ball, a huge big white ball. And the ball that's inside of the dragon, I pull the ball to me. It's the size of a basketball, and I hold it with my 2 hands. And this ball is giving me a dose of energy. I look into the ball, and it's translucent, but it's that pearl colour too. And I'm supposed to read from this ball. And it's tons of splinters of light. And this material is translucent, but it's white, and it's metallic, and it's beautiful. And I'm spinning this ball of light. I'm spinning it. And I pull my hands away from it. And I have the ball spinning in front of me now. It's spinning very quickly now. It's becoming whiter, if you can even believe that. Tell me more about the information that this ball contains. It's like inside the ball is moving. The ball is showing movement inside. And it's like there are these beings that are pushing the ball on either side, inside. They are on the bottom of the ball and they are white. They are all white. They are like cloud beings. And they are pushing on the bottom parts of the ball. They are pulling this ball apart in front of me. And in the centre, it's like a star. So I've pulled the ball apart so that I can now see the centre. And the centre is like a super dull, luminescent blue, white blue. And now it seems to be erupting like a mini volcano with, it's not a black hole, it's like a white whirlpool of white light. And it's spinning super fast. And I feel like I have to go into it. So allow yourself to go ahead and do that. And as you do that, I want you to tell me what you experience. So I jump in and the dragon jumps in with me. And I feel like we're going through some kind of a light tunnel. We're moving through it and there's light on all sides of us and it's fully luminescent. It's between white and blue and all of the shades in between. We're traveling. Everything seems very etheric and safe and light. And I've kind of come to this whitish, pinkish, purplish cloud land of clouds. But they're not puffy. They're all streams of light. It's all in motion, light in motion. I feel like I've come to another dimension of some kind. Tell me more about what you see as you acclimatise to this new place. It's just light, and I feel like I'm in some kind of, I'm now sitting on the dragon, and the two of us are soaring along what appears to be a massive avenue in the sky. And they are reds and oranges on the outside, but we are going towards this. The avenue is dark where we are, but we're travelling towards something massive. It's like a huge tulip, and there's streams of light, and the tulip is huge, and there's bursts of light coming out of it. It's like a star. It's like a light generation centre, like a star. I don't know if we're in the centre of a star, but it's taking a really long time to fly towards it. And because it's so big, it's getting closer and closer and closer. There are 4 corners to this thing. It's not a flower really. There's 4 corners, the directions east, west, north and south, and they are massive. Think of them as petals. Think of them as arms. If you look at a compass, you have the centre and then the 4 directions. Each of those directions is red. Each of them goes out about a kilometre. And then there's a right angle and the other one goes out at a kilometre. A massive red arm of some kind. but it's not an arm. It's like a pointed structure. And in the centre of this massive, burning star-like flame, and we're flying towards it. And the light is all colours, all rainbow colours. There's massive power there, crazy power. It's just huge. And we're not the only ones flying towards it. There are others like me. There are massive colours of red now. This whole structure is all red at the base, but the light is still shooting up into the universe. And I'm about to fly over the centre of it. We're going to go into it. We direct ourselves right into the centre of this structure, and it feels like it's a portal, and we fly right into it. And as we fly through it, wow, it's just stars. I feel like we're just flying through stars now, or little dots of white light and lots of blackness. We're just in the void. Tell me how that feels. Very relaxed. Tell me what you see in that void as you float. Well, we're going towards some kind of... We're not having to move wings or anything like that. We're just moving at speeds that a ship would move, covering vast distances very fast. And we've come to what appears to be like, it's the colour red again. And it seems like it's liquid almost. Like the centre is like a column. It's a mass, a planet-sized object. But the central red column turns. And as it turns, it has these arms that follow it. It's not an octopus, but it looks like that type of thing. It's a massive red column out in space, and it's just turning. And we're flying by that. It's a blood red colour, and it's absolutely silent. We can't hear anything. Everything is silent. And we're travelling a distance. And I can see now what looks like a supernova, or it's like a massive mirror. Tell me more about that as you look at it. It's like we're at the edge of... The mirror is now shifting form, and it's spinning like a galaxy. We're hovering over the top of what appears to be a galaxy, and it's shimmering greens and black, and it's just turning, and it's moving faster now, and something is trying to take form or shape. And now from within this galaxy, from this dark green and black, there is forming the shape of an old man. The man is standing inside of the galaxy. So this is obviously the spirit of the galaxy that they have travelled to. He's taking form. He's got a white beard, long white hair. He's wearing a heavy garment like a tunic. Long white hair and long beard. I can't make out his face yet. He's holding a staff. His skin is very dark red. And he's very, very wise. He's a very, very old being of the universe. Old being. His head is huge. And we've come to a stop now. And he's looking at us. His eyes were lifeless, but now they seem to be coming to life. He has yellowish, whitish eyes, and they are blinking. It's like he's come out of this catatonic state. He is alive. He's very kind and very gentle, and he's not saying anything. And as you look at him, connect with him, connect your heart space with him. What message is it that he has for you today? My left knee is feeling a lot of energy right now. My legs. Tell me more about that. Blackness mixed in with diamonds, dark green. And I'm seeing geometric shapes around where my legs are. And those geometric shapes, what will they do today? What will the energy do for him that he feels in his legs? This energy, these geometric shapes, they are becoming my legs. They are long hexagons, and they are becoming my legs They turn white when they close around my legs. Tell me more about the purpose of those long hexagon tubes that are turning white. They are forming around my legs and becoming my legs, and then they are turning white. And this man is just looking at me and smiling, and it's like I'm changing. It's a good energy, and now my whole body is becoming enclosed in these hexagon shapes. And as you feel the energy that these shapes bring, tell me more about this change that is occurring within you today. I am in another form now. I am this white, single substance. My whole body is enclosed in this light hexagon material that is like a white stone material. And my eyes are looking way off in the distance, and I see a massive mountain of light. And there is some kind of an explosion. White light on the top, red on the exterior, and yellow and white light on the inside of this mountain. And my energy is rising. And I feel like I'm in some kind of a uniform. This is a suit. And this explosion of light that is going on around me in all directions throughout where I am in this void. The light is coming to me, at me. And it enters me through my very being, enters me through my eyes. The light is going everywhere. It's exploding in all directions, like when light enters a crystal. I'm starting to vibrate, and it's like this suit was able to trap me and the light in the same space. And now I am becoming the light. I am in this suit, but the light is this suit. And I am just becoming a light being. 2 arms, 2 legs, but light. And the light is going around in all directions, millions of directions. White light and yellow light. At that point, I'll leave him there to continue on his journey. And that is where I will leave that session today because I'm running out of time. I've got a session myself now. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to somebody who gave me a gift over Christmas. This is a client of mine who created me this gift. This is my dog. This is my dog, Tess. And he took a photo of my dog and he created this for me for Christmas. It's a pencil drawing. Thousands upon thousands of little teeny tiny scratches which make this pencil drawing. He is so talented. The screen cannot do justice to how good this drawing is. It is superb. Now, if any of you would like to have one of these drawings of your own pets done, then my client's name who creates these incredible drawings is Lewis Bryant. And you can email Lewis at Lewis, which is LEWIS, Bryant, which is BRYANT @gmail.com. And I will put this in the body of the YouTube video, but it's Lewis J Bryant @gmail.com. LEWISJBRYANT @gmail.com. And his Instagram handle is @Bryant_Illustration. He charges £150 for that drawing, and it takes him 20 hours to create the drawing. I would imagine he's going to become inundated with requests to create drawings for other people after doing this. He's superb, and like all of us at the moment, he's having to diversify because his normal job is changing due to what's happening in the world outside. So please, if you can, if you've been thinking of getting a pet portrait done for some time, please support Lewis. And it will be £150 for the drawing plus postage. So wherever you're based in the world, you'll need to pay for postage as well. And the £150 is for his time in creating these masterpieces. So please do give Lewis a try, because his drawing is incomparable. I've never seen drawing like it. I also wanted to give these guys a bit of a shout out that I discovered over Christmas. They're vegan chocolates, the Urban Wellbeing vegan chocolates. I did actually get these off Amazon. I don't know if they sell them anywhere else. I don't know. And I think you would have to be UK based to get these. They do them in all kinds of flavours. You get 18 in a box. Recycled packaging. They are superb, gorgeous flavours. They're $6.99 a box, and they do mint, strawberry, orange coffee, black cherry, lemon and lime, rose and violet. Incredible flavours, encased in dark chocolate. It's vegan chocolate, and I'm allergic to everything. There's nothing in these that sets me off, unless you've got a soya allergy. There is soya in there, but other than that, they are absolutely perfect. It's the Urban Wellbeing vegan chocolate creams. I've only found them on Amazon, unfortunately, but $6.99, very cheap. They're excellent. Please do try those out. I'm going to have to go now because I've got a session. Thank you to everybody who sent me gifts and cards over Christmas. I appreciate it so much. You have no idea how much it means to me. I love you all so much. And till the next time I see you guys, make sure you keep vibrating high. I love you. Bye.